So you've tried your hand at all the respectable ways to make a living. The part-time job, the side hustle, the 9-to-5 office job, but nothing seems to be working. The pay sucks, your employers would never let you get ahead, and you're stuck in a perpetual rat race of mediocrity. It feels like there's no way out. Well, if you're in need of cash and exhausted all the legal ways to get it, maybe it's time to get a little more illicit. I mean creative. Now sure, you could turn to a life of petty crime, pickpocketing, selling drugs, or catfishing people into sending you money, but that's all just so unsophisticated. You could rob a bank or jewelry store, but you would need months of planning, a crew, a whole lot of guns, and not everyone has the time, expertise, or money to get any of those things. Plus, robbing jewelry and banks is kinda lower class, kinda beneath you. But what if we stole art? Think about it.
I am.
Instead of having to pack dozens of bags full of heavy cash or go in guns blazing into a jewelry store, what if you could commit an elegant, quiet crime where one piece of canvas could be worth millions upon millions of dollars? It's a billion-dollar industry, and most museums don't have the money for the kind of security that could keep you out. So why not? Art prices are skyrocketing. More than 8,000 pieces of art are stolen from Italy alone each year. And out of the thousands of art thieves out there, only 1.5% are ever really caught and prosecuted. So unlike other rackets, the odds are very much in your favor. Seriously, art is so easy to steal that one piece by Edvard Munch called The Scream was stolen twice in just 15 years and recently sold for $120 million, more than you could ever get from a simple bank or jewel heist. Art museums and exhibits are basically sitting ducks. So obviously, becoming a career art thief is the only right move for someone of your caliber. So let's learn how to rob fine art. Theoretically, of course. Please don't steal stuff.
You both recognize that I'm the best, and I'll tell you my secret.
All jokes aside, we live in a beautiful age where it's never been easier to make a lot of money without risking going to prison. And the only thing you need to make a lot of money is an internet connection and a desire to learn. That's where Brilliant comes in. Brilliant is a website and app that offers fun, interactive courses in all things science, technology, engineering, and math, so you can take advantage of all the opportunities the information age offers. Data science? The average data scientist makes $117,000 a year, and Brilliant has a learning path for it that walks you through all the fundamentals you need to know for data science. Quantitative analysts? They make $112,000 a year on average, and Brilliant has a learning path for that. Computer scientists? They make $106,000 on average. And again, Brilliant has a learning path on it to give you a solid foundation on the subject, with courses on algorithm fundamentals, an introduction to neural networks, and even one on quantum computing. What makes Brilliant different from everything else is that it's built off of a very simple principle. You learn best while doing, not through lectures, repetition, or doing odd number exercises in a textbook. That's why with Brilliant, you get to jump right into solving problems, while being coached bit by bit until before you even realize it, you've learned a fundamental concept in STEM. You get instant feedback along the way so you can improve as fast as possible, and there aren't any tests or grades either. Just pick a topic you're curious about and get started. We live in the easiest time in human history to make money, but the only way you're gonna do that is with self-education. And to get you started, Brilliant is giving you guys 20% off when you go to brilliant.org/JakeTran with the link below. That's brilliant.org/JakeTran to sign up for free and get 20% off. Thanks to Brilliant for sponsoring this video. Now, most people wouldn't be able to tell the difference between an expensive modern art piece and their kid's art project. No, seriously, take a look at these two paintings and tell me which one is worth millions and which one should be stuck on your parents' refrigerator. Believe it or not, the first painting is a piece by Cy Twombly, whose pieces often sell for more than $2 million. The second one is a preschooler's attempt at painting with a ball. Art theft is a niche get-rich-quick scheme. In order to succeed, you need to know your stuff, run in the right circles, and be able to spot a fake within seconds. Again, I'm not joking. So many original art pieces have been stolen and replaced with fakes. You may be risking years in jail for a worthless piece of paper. And since it's so niche, it may be wise to find a buyer who's ready to pay big money for a specific piece, and then you source that piece. So get out there and educate yourself. Learn everything there is to know about the art you want to steal. And remember, you're robbing for the money, not the thrill. So go for something achievable and leave the Mona Lisa alone. art is difficult to sell. The more famous the piece is, the more likely it is that cops will be looking for it and that you'll get caught trying to sell what you've stolen. Vincenzo Peruccia worked at the Louvre Museum in Paris in 1911 and actually did steal the Mona Lisa. He kept it hidden for 2 years before trying to return it to an Italian gallery in exchange for a reward. He was immediately reported, arrested, and sent to jail. So give yourself the best chance at actually stealing and selling the art you're targeting by choosing a lesser-known piece that is still worth good money, like Cy Twombly's art. No one is gonna launch an international manhunt for any of those paintings. Some of the best places to steal art are from churches and small museums. Not only do they have less security than a gallery or museum like the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City, but people are less likely to notice if an art piece just randomly disappears. Often, staff miscommunication at small locations like those means that people think the art was sent out for restoration or something. In Vincenzo Peruccia's case, it took the museum staff 2 days to realize the Mona Lisa was missing. But then again, it was the early 1900s. So once you found the right target and you know exactly what you're gonna steal, it's time to get some help from the inside. Millionaires and billionaires may own arts, but the average museum worker is no millionaire. In fact, the average art museum security guard only earns around $32,000 a year. That usually means that most of the staff in art galleries and museums are in some kind of debts, and that's what you can use to your advantage. You see, 90% of art heists in America alone were committed or helped by an insider, someone who had access to the arts and knew how well it was protected. In order to get in and out without being seen or caught, you're gonna need some help. So find a security guard, janitor, or anyone with the right kind of access who has a problem you can solve. Use your inside connection to find out as much as you can about the art piece, the building security, and the habits of the other staff members. If you play your cards right, your inside connection may even be able to switch off some cameras while you're getting the job done. Once you've found your inside man or woman, it is time for the next step. It's time to visit your targets. If it's a church, go during service times when you can blend in. If it's an art museum, go during lunch. There will be fewer people who can watch or notice you. Be friendly, but try not to approach anyone directly, especially the security. They will remember your face. Check for cameras first, both visible and hidden ones. Oftentimes, small museums and galleries don't have the money for a massive camera network, so a few of the cameras may be fake. No matter how complicated the security, there's no amount of tech that can completely stop a heist. There's always a switch you can turn off or a camera you can disconnect. Once you've identified all the cameras, take a mental note of how many visitors and staff are around. Is there security in the target room? Are the security guards sitting or standing? What type of floor does the building have? Wooden floors are the best because you can hear the creaking from far away. Carpets are the worst. Memorize every exit before you leave. If you can, plan your heist for a day when the cameras are being repaired or updated, so that they may be off for a few minutes. Use your insider to find out what the protocol is when a thief is discovered, and make sure you pay attention to any sensors or defense measures put in place to keep the art safe. Now that you have a lay of the land, it's time for the next step. Hollywood movies make it seem like rappelling into a museum from the roof in the middle of the night is the best way to steal art. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Breaking into a museum at night is a guaranteed way to trigger the alarm. Stealing art in broad daylight, although much more of an adrenaline rush, is objectively safer. In most cases, art thieves just walk in, cut the painting out of the frame, and walk right out without anyone noticing until it's too late. Very few museums in the world have the laser beams and sensors you see in the movies, so often, the simplest plan is the best. A stylish outfit with a slightly oversized jacket and a Swiss Army knife stuck in your pocket may be all you need. If you want to make extra sure you can get away, replacing the stolen art with a fake, even a bad fake, could buy you at least a few extra hours. Now that you've got a plan, and you've got the equipment you need, you're ready to go. One of the world's most famous art thieves, Stefan Breitwieser, would steal from museums in broad daylight, stuffing whatever he took into his pants or under his jacket as he calmly walked out of the museum. If you want to succeed, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Walk into the museum or church just as camera repair starts, or get your insider to switch the cameras off. Calmly make your way to where your art piece is waiting. Often, you can kill time waiting for the room to empty by pretending to admire the pieces around it. Once the room empties, you can get to work. If the art is under a display case, the screwdrivers and the Swiss Army knife will come in handy. If it's hanging on a wall, carefully cut it out of its frame and replace it with your fake. Even if the forgery is a cheap printout, from far away it will still look believable, and that's all you need. Carefully place the stolen art piece under your jacket or in your pants and make your way to the nearest exit, keeping your head down. You may have minutes, you may have hours to get away. Whatever the getaway time, follow the rules of the road. Assuming you get away, bleach or torch your car, destroy the fake place you should have put on it, and make it safely back home, the best thing to do is to get rid of your loot as soon as possible. By luck, people may take a day or two to notice the real art is missing, so you have a very small window to offload your stolen goods before the cops get involved. Which brings us to the hardest part of stealing art: the sale. Best case scenario, you were commissioned by some millionaire art collector who already agreed to pay you as soon as you bring them the goods. You're never gonna get the full amount of what the art is worth, but this is your best option for making a good percentage. If you stole a painting worth $2 million, you could probably get $1 million if you're lucky. Another option is to ransom it back to the insurance company or gallery. If you stole from some rich collector, you could get 20 to 30% of the value to return the art, and avoid getting the cops involved. If you didn't have a buyer beforehand, and you stole from a small gallery without a millionaire backer, you're gonna have to lay low for a while. Art thieves hang on to the stuff they've stolen for years before ever trying to sell it. Once things cool down, you have a few options. You could try to sell it legitimately. The best way to do this would be to look for a buyer outside of the country you stole from. So if you stole something in Europe, consider selling it in the US and vice versa. It's not foolproof, but it will give you a better shot of not running into an undercover Interpol or FBI agents looking for the stuff you stole. If you get it right, you can make 80 to 100% of the art's value in cold hard cash. If you're not interested in the gamble of selling it openly, your next best bet would be the black markets. Here you can find anyone from gang lords looking for art to use as bargaining chips and get out of jail free cards, to genuinely interested collectors who don't mind the fact that the art was stolen. Best case scenario though, is you make 10% of what the art is worth. If you stole a $2 million painting, you could walk away with $200,000. Sure, it didn't turn you into an instant millionaire, but considering how easy and addictive the thrill of art theft can get, you may feel up for a second, third, fourth, or even fifth heist. Just as long as you never hit the same place twice, never let your guard down, and remember to pay your insiders. And if you like controversial mini documentaries like this, you're in luck. Because every month, we put out a feature-length, 40-minute plus documentary on how the world really works and how to profit from it, that are far too controversial to post publicly on YouTube. That means these documentaries will never be available anywhere else. We already have one documentary out on Monsanto, the company that owns the world's food supply, and rumor has it that next month, the documentary will probably be on our friend whose first name starts with a J and last name starts with an E. You can preview all the documentaries out at the time without being signed up with this link below. And all you have to do to get this insider information is to click the join button below, right next to the subscribe button, or use the link below if you don't see the join button. And you'll get access to this knowledge that you will never get in business school, not for $55,000 to $161,000, but for just $5 a month. And don't worry, if you join and don't feel like it's worth it, email me and I will personally refund you the money. Click that join button below now.